Hello and welcome to this lecture, AWS Direct Connect Architectures. Now this is advanced topic and is required for AWS Advanced Networking certification if you are aiming that, or if you are implementing the Direct Connect for your own purpose, then this might help you as well. So in the previous lecture, we saw the basics of Direct Connect. If you haven't watched that video, just click the link here on the top and you should first go through that video. But essentially we talked about what Direct Connect is and then how the physical and logical connectivity works on top of the Direct Connect. So there is a physical connectivity and on top of which you create a public WIF or a private WIF or a transit WIF. Now in this video, let's understand various architectures that you can build using this kind of connectivity and what are the challenges with those architectures and how you can tweak those architectures to make it work for you. Okay, so let's get started here. So here for simplicity, I have shown two corporate data centers, but there could be many more. And to begin with, you connect it to Direct Connect gateway through a private WIF, and then you connect this Direct Connect gateway to the VPCs. Now this provides, kind of mesh connectivity between VPC and corporate data center. That means traffic can flow in both the directions. So all these VPCs can reach out to your corporate data center and the other way around. So this might work well for you if this is what you want. But if you look at the problem in this architecture, these VPCs cannot communicate with each other. So VPCs in Mumbai cannot communicate with VPC in North Virginia. And this is for the reason that Direct Connect gateway doesn't provide the transitive routing. So which means this traffic cannot flow. And if you also want connectivity between corporate data center, this is also not possible if you connect both this corporate data center to the same Direct Connect gateway. So this is also not possible. Okay, so we know this architecture may work for you, but not in all the cases, right? So let's try to replace the private WIF with the transit WIF. Similar architecture, but now you're connecting your DX gateway to the transit gateways, and you have provisioned two transit gateways in two different regions because you know that transit gateways are regional router. Now in this case, again, you have the connectivity between VPCs and on-premise data centers like the previous architecture. And additionally, you can see that the VPCs inside a particular region can communicate with each other. Transit gateway will provide that connectivity. However, still your VPCs in Mumbai region cannot communicate with the VPCs in North Virginia region because this transit gateway cannot again communicate through this Direct Connect gateway because it's a non-transitive. So this doesn't work. And also the corporate data centers cannot communicate with each other. So this is a second kind of architecture that you can look at. Now, if you really want these VPCs to communicate with each other, then you can slightly change this architecture and put a transit gateway pairing in between. And now what it enables you is the full connectivity between VPCs and corporate data centers as earlier. But additionally, you can have the connectivity between VPCs across AWS regions. So this solves that problem. But again, if you see the connectivity between corporate data center, this is still not supported because of course there is no transitive routing. Now what you can do for that? Simply what you can do is instead of using one Direct Connect gateway, you can use two Direct Connect gateways and both this connection now terminate on the separate Direct Connect gateways. Now in that case, what would happen if the traffic is coming from corporate data center, then it can be routed to a transit gateways and then transit gateway can route it back to another data center. So this is how this traffic will flow. So this provides you end-to-end connectivity and full mesh kind of connectivity. But thing here to understand that as you add the transit gateway for site-to-site connectivity, there will be a lot of additional cost of processing that data. And also, if you look at the physical movement of the data from your corporate data center 1, it will go to the DX location, and from there it will go to the AWS region in which you have this transit gateways. So it is a lot of travel for that data to go from one site to another. And exactly this was the problem that AWS customer might have faced. And that's where last year in reInvent, AWS launched a new feature of Direct Connect, which is called Site Link. Now what Site Link does is you just enable the Site Link on a private WIF or a transit WIF, and then all the traffic can flow from one data center to another if both the WIFs are connected to the same Direct Connect gateway. So it's just a ready to use feature available on the WIFs. In this case, traffic doesn't go to the AWS region and it is routed at the edge, that is Direct Connect location. So this is a very efficient way to connect multiple data centers using AWS backbone network. Okay, so we have seen now a couple of architectures, and then based on your requirement, you can implement the one which works for you. Now, before we wrap up, I just wanted to quickly give you the decision tree. And this decision tree will help you whether you should use a hosted connection or a dedicated connection and which kind of WIF you should use. Now I try to capture this in one picture. So take your time to go through this picture. It is self-explanatory and we have already covered the explanation for making these choices in the earlier video and this video. So I hope that should be clear to you. But this is a decision tree which will help you whether you should go for a hosted connection or a dedicated. And once you decide that, then whether you should use public WIF or a private WIF or a transit WIF. So I hope that is useful. And with that, we'll stop for this video here. But if you would like to see more videos from me, then please write in a comment and I should be able to make a video on those topics. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so that you are updated about the new videos. Again, thanks for stopping by and stay tuned. Thank you.